Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. After the insane week we had exploring East Java, and if you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch it. There'll hopefully be a link here. Bali came as a very lovely change of pace for us indeed. Whilst this part of our trip was not meant to be very photo heavy and photocentric, Bali itself is an incredibly photogenic part of the world. We've all seen it on Instagram, it's quite hyped and it does warrant a lot of that. We got to meet some incredible people, have some really great food actually in particular, and even take some fun and some mostly mediocre photography. Some of it was slightly above mediocre, but it was a lot of fun and that's what photography is about. This video and our time in Bali can be kind of broken down into three main parts really. Got firstly exploring Ubud itself, which was where we stayed. We did a cooking class, which turned out to be very fun photographically. And then a highlight of this trip is photographing monkeys on a pancake lens, so I hope you enjoy. Ubud was where we based ourselves for our time in Indonesia, as I said, and it's very much a favourite of the kind of Western tourists to Indonesia and to Bali in particular. Armed with the X-T4 and the 27mm 2.8 pancake lens for most of the time in Bali and exploring around Ubud, our first stop on our kind of exploration of Ubud was the Pura Dalam temple, which was conveniently located directly across from where we were having breakfast. This was one of the limitations I found of the 27mm actually was in this temple, and I think kind of generally around Bali, while it's a super lightweight setup, it did miss the width and versatility of, let's say, the 23mm, and those extra few millimeter do make a massive difference, no pun intended. And so the 40mm equivalent focal length entire spaces can be just a bit too tight, but the lightweight nature of it is so great.
He's having a great time.
That being said, that is why in this instance and for this shot I did rob the 23mm f2 from Val that she was using on her X-T20 to capture the image that I wanted to get.
Ronan, tell your fans what you're doing.
I'm using a tree and this as like to frame this guy. The tree being lit up nicely by the sunlight. Using quite a shallow, quite a wide aperture to create that depth of field. Hopefully focuses on this bad boy here. Like this photo appears.
We aim to stay on foot or drive really as little as possible. The traffic in Ubud is mental and we'd spent so much time in the back of a van basically in East Java, so checking out places like the Pura Dalam temple, the Ubud art market and the Kampuhan Ridge walk, which were very near to where we were staying, were absolute no-brainers.
Hey. Say hi.
Not your little ones. They're smelly.
They are smelly, I know they are.
We also love to cook and we like doing cooking classes, so that's what we decided to do. What I didn't expect, however, was how much fun photographing and bringing my camera with me to a cooking class would be. And look, none of these photos will win any prizes, they might not even become portfolio shots, but as fun travel kind of holiday photos, I really do love them, and there's some really fun kind of portraits of Val in here that, yeah, I'll just keep forever. I really enjoy them. The class did kick off in a local food market in Ubud, and that with the early morning light was quite a bit of a highlight. Thinking back to kind of earlier in the temples and around Ubud, I remember feeling like I missed the wide end of the 18 to 55. Put the 18 to 55mm lens on the front of my Fujifilm X-T4, but mostly for the wider side of things and being able to capture more of a busy market scene. I'm really glad I did. And it was really cool. We got to pick the ingredients that we were going to use to cook with later, so that was quite a nice thing to do. We then went from the market itself to the actual cooking class, which was on a farm where they also grew the rest of the ingredients to be used, and part of that process was that we were going to pick all the ingredients that we were going to use to cook with. And as I said before, the light was really nice on this day. We were given these really fun traditional hats to wear, and I really had a bit of a field day with this side of things, with everyone walking around picking all of the fruit and the vegetables they were going to use to cook, putting them in baskets, and the little hats being lit up by the sun was quite a favourite of mine from this trip.
We got in the basket.
Bok choy, some lettuce, and then Chinese cabbage.
Nice.
And I love some of these images. I think they're just a huge amount of fun.
With your hat? What'd you get?
Bok choy, lettuce.
But like I said, none of these will win awards, but as fun holiday snaps or kind of environmental portraits, yeah, they're just quite good fun, you know? And I really like them. Also, the food was incredible. The food was so good. Lastly, and most definitely the highlight of my time in Bali, photographically anyway, was our trip to the Ubud monkey forest in Bali. We were led to believe that the monkeys in Bali can be quite aggressive, conniving, they'll steal things, they'll take phones, wallets, watches, even cameras, and they'll extort people for food in return for that item. And with that in mind, I put the smallest lens I had on my camera, the 27mm pancake lens with the X-T4, with the aim of trying to not have anything stolen and having as compact a setup as I could. What we found in reality was that the monkeys in the Ubud monkey forest are really well looked after, they're cared for by the rangers, they're well respected, and it's a bit of a sanctuary for them there, which meant that they were unbelievably calm, so they were a joy to photograph. Ultimately, you want to respect the monkeys, you don't want to get too close, you don't want to be annoying. They were so much fun just to photograph and enjoy, and I really didn't expect to be doing any wildlife photography with a pancake lens on this trip, but there we are. And look, I probably would have been better off with the 18 to 55 with that extra bit of reach to isolate some subjects, get some more close-up images. Yeah, just a bit more telephoto reach, but ultimately the 27mm worked out absolutely fine, and we were able to get as close as you would really want to get to be able to capture some really nice portraits and images. But yeah, as much as this wasn't really a zoo, but it was a safe place for the monkeys to exist. And it was so much fun just to photograph them. Like, some of these photos are some of my favorite photos from the entire few weeks because there's so much character and energy in them, you know? And I hope you enjoy them too because, yeah, it was a good laugh. What was that? No, I got it. What was it?
Butterfly.
It was a butterfly. In summary then, overall we both did really enjoy our time in Bali. I think we didn't get as much out of it photographically as you definitely could, simply because we had a bit of a hangover from the East Java trip in terms of being tired, just a bit photographed out. In fairness, the island of Bali is so big and vast that we barely scratched the surface, and I'm sure there's people who will be watching this who will be going, Ubud is not the place to do photography, and that's fair enough. Like, we had a really good time. We definitely could have made more of a photographic effort, but we weren't really there to take photos, and because of that, I'm really happy with these holiday snaps, and I think there's some really nice ones in there as well. And let's be honest, I think this entire video is saved by the monkeys. The monkeys really do make this video worthwhile, and for me, were the highlight of this trip by a country mile. And there are some other images in there, like I said, from the cooking class and a couple of the market images that I do really enjoy. As always folks, thank you so much for watching the video, taking the time out of your day to spend with me on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below any thoughts, feelings or opinions. And if you're from Bali or have been to Bali, recommend some other locations for photography on the island. I'm sure we'll be back. And as always folks, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Have a lovely day. Yeah, I think that's it.